Hello, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Kiari.
I'm Edward.
What we're going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about the man that spent $2.1 million on a $50,000 car.
Would you do that?
Yeah. No. No, I wouldn't. That's ridiculous. I'd rather wait a few cars deep. I'm talking about I'd rather wait 20 cars later and just pay the regular $50,000. You know what I could get with $2 million, my friend?
Bro, everything.
I can pay your tuition, my kids' tuition, my house. Bro, 3 more cars, and I still have money left over to go vacation in Paris with some Versace clothing.
So what was the most you would pay for that car? Like, get the first one.
Honestly, for the first one, just because it's my thing is, like, if it's a car that's underpowered, yes, it is a hyped car. It is the first car that come out in decades. It's like, well, not that many decades, but you know what I mean. My thing is, like, I wouldn't pay over, honestly, 75 to 80, 90, because it's just not worth it. And I don't even think it's worth 50. I think it's a big price tag just because BMW made it, in all honesty.
Yeah, you heard the i8 sound when you leave the door open?
No.
It have the i8 sound when you leave the door open. It's crazy. But the most I would pay for that Supra,
That's tough.
75, 80. After that, then it's not worth it no more. Okay, so would you pay the 1.1 million for the GT500? And you gotta start the starting bid or the starting salary for that car. I said starting salary. The starting price of that car is $70,000. Or it's expected to be $70,000. And then the last GT500, the MSRP was around like 50, 60, and then.
I mean, it's a whole different car. Like, this car is like the game changer, honestly. In a way, I feel like it's a beautiful car. Don't get me wrong.
Very.
It's a
Carbon
very
fiber
beautiful
package.
car. Wow, they really did a good job with that car. Honestly, I do appreciate. Like, honestly, I feel like with the 2018 Mustangs when the headlights kind of tilted down. I wasn't a big fan of them at first, but I can't really talk considering, you know. But I do like the 20. Like, I do like the fact that they went back to the straight lines. But honestly, you wouldn't catch me paying over 110 because at that point, really, I'm talking about R8. I'm talking about.
I mean, you have to think about this. The last one, after it released, they was going for like 120.
The what?
The last GT500.
Oh, really? No, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't. At that point, I'd rather just get like
And this one is starting closer to that price, so.
I'd rather get an R8, something more track hungry, so to speak. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's gonna be a hell of a car.
So
I
then
think
you might well look for the ZR1 because I think the ZR1 would kill the R8 on the track.
Yeah, honestly. But I guess to a point where it's just like, do I want to kill for track or do I want to kill for just like riding around? It's really at that point it's about what do you want to use it for.
I mean, if you want to show off, then obviously you get the R8.
But if you want a track monster,
then you would go. What car in that price range would you go with?
for how much?
The 120 price. Well, you gotta think. I saw personally a ZR1 for 151.
Oh my
So
God.
like, and then you have to think about it. Like when you were younger, you saw how like the R8 had like hype, like it was up there with the Lamborghini, and then now
that's just kind of like,
you'd be
oh,
like,
R8.
they're in their own lane. Like you can't compare that R8 with nothing. Like
Yeah, you really can't. Don't get me wrong, the new one, they look, wow. Yo, I don't know.
Yeah.
It comes to a point where you don't know what they're going to do with the car anymore, and then bang!
scared me.
But in reality, did you know that Supras, you know how they normally, like the old ones, the MK4s, they go for like 50,000, 60,000?
Like stock.
Yeah,
Not
stock.
stock, yes.
They sold one at auction for $121,000. You want to know who bought it?
Who?
Toyota. You want to know how much they're reselling it for?
How much?
$500,000 for a 1994 Toyota Supra. Don't get me wrong, the reasoning behind it is like, you know, the new Supra's coming out, they want to hype it up, you know, hey, look, the daddy, the son.
Yeah, but then I feel like they went off track when they went with BMW.
They did.
Then at that point, it's BMW car now. Like
Yeah, honestly, it's like the whole car is complete. Bro, even the Shiftronic is BMW.
The trim around the car is BMW. Like literally everything is BMW.
But I mean, if you want to look back on history, the only reason I like to argue that with people is like, if you look back on history, how do I say it? Toyota is not the first time that Toyota has made a car look like a BMW. And you can look it up. You'd be really surprised.
Or did they collab and nobody knew about it?
It's because my thing is like nowadays cars are all looking the same.
Yeah, me personally, I would have had Lexus do it. Like Lexus and
I agree.
that would have been.
I agree.
I mean, but then you got to think Lexus is kind of like the premium, like
Yeah, but I mean,
high-end, affordable like car, like with the great leather, all of that.
Yeah.
So then at that point, are we building the Super for the looks and to keep the 2JZ alive, or are we keeping it to be this modern day car, like everyday car?
okay, but then that's where like, for example, have you seen the new RCF? I feel like Lexus can do both.
Yeah, like that. Oh my God.
The new
bro.
RCF, the 2020 Track Edition, is said to be a monster around the track. It's supposed to be up there with the M4 and the C63, was it?
C63.
No, was it? Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna put it, I don't think it's C63.
I don't think it's. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's supposed to be up there competing with the M's category. But my thing is, don't get me wrong, BMW is a great car. They're making really good cars. I think they honestly have one of the best motors out on the market right now because it is like the track monster. Let's be honest. BMW is the one cutting the track right now. But my thing is, with BMW, you don't really get differences between the cars. Like, for example, if you get a 3 Series and you get an M, if you're a regular person off the street, yes, you can tell, but let's just say, like, the colors are exactly the same, in and out.
Yeah, like.
You can't really tell the difference unless, like, you know about the cars, like, oh, the front bumper changes, the back
And then,
bumper changes.
like, you see, like, everybody nowadays just throw the M logo on their cars, like, if you notice that.
Yeah.
And then I gotta ask you this question: how do you feel about BMW with the M5 going from a V10 to a V6 now?
Oh, actually, they don't know that, to be completely honest with you. Wow.
Yeah.
A V10 to a V6?
Yeah.
I'm a
Twin
V6.
turbo.
I'm a
Well, I think
V6
it's
kind of
turbo.
guy. I've always been a V6 kind of guy. I feel like they're one of the more engines that hold a lot of potential that nobody really puts a lot of effort into.
Four banger.
Huh?
Four banger.
But but I feel like at that point, when you're talking about a V10, you're taking away from the potential of the car when you're just retracing it back to a V6. And
I
like,
feel like
don't get me wrong, I think either way, BMW still they know how to make good cars, not reliable ones, but they know how to make good ones. Like, if you want power and you want a car to beat on, you got a BMW. Just about to break down 20,000 miles later.
I think if you ever get a car that you can beat on boost, I think you know where I'm going with this, but let's just say it's a 4-cylinder. They go by Honda. They beat almost everything. They can beat almost everything. If they're boosted, rebuilt motor.
Oh my god! I like to argue that with people because it's like I feel like people's like argument is like, oh, I can make a Honda this fast, I can make a Honda that fast. It's cheap. My thing is, okay, you're getting a family sedan. Let's be honest, because I don't know how in the world the SI classifies as a sports car first and foremost. So, does it? Yes, but I feel like if you like, it's cheap because it's not supposed to be the car people are using it for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you can make, like, because my thing is like BRZ, for example. Nobody likes a BRZ because of how slow and underpowered it is. My statement is that if you can make a Honda fast, you can make a BRZ fast. Don't get me wrong, the engines on the
Honda.
they hold a lot of power, and you can do a lot with them. But I feel like you can do the same thing, for example, with a BRZ.
But
like
the
to
reason
say.
why it's cheap is because it's a lot of them. So like at that point, it's like, why have these parts super high when it's a lot of demand of it?
That is true.
And
That's
then
true.
I feel like with Hondas, like they're great motors. Like
They are.
you don't see like many of them blow up unless like
You don't.
they're pushing like crazy amounts
Yeah.
of power. And then they're super light.
Like eBay turbo.
Like everybody go with a super light car, and that's like the perfect car to go light with.
That is true. That is true.
So
All right, well, that was all we had for you guys. Thank you for watching the Kiari and Edouard talk show. Oh, podcast.
Whatever.
Hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you next time.
Bow. We're gonna fade the black.
Then we're gonna fade to black. We're gonna. Am I muted?